Hello and welcome to EliteGuitarist.com. My name is Tavi Ginario and I'm a classical guitarist. It is a great joy today to teach you how to play Prelude from Robert de Visee's Suite No. 9 in D minor. This suite was part of Andres Segovia's standard repertoire. He played it for most of his career. The Prelude itself is a wonderful introduction to the suite, and the very word prelude is formed from two compounds, pre and ludio. The word pre means before, and lud means to play. It comes from the Latin verb ludo, ludere. So it's really kind of an introduction to the actual suite. It is before you actually start playing, and that's why it's kind of a warm-up. It's a warm-up for the player to get used to the audience. It's a warm-up for the audience to get used to the player. And so our approach to preludes in general should not be as metronomical and as straight and as rhythmic as our approach to a jig or to a bourrée, for example, would be. So without any further ado, let's get started and learn Prelude from Robert de Visee's Suite No. 9 in D minor. Before we get into the mechanics of playing this piece, I need to mention to you that the tuning has a drop D string. So the 6th string, instead of tuning it to an E, will tune it one step lower to a D. And so here is a D minor chord. Okay, so let's begin. This is the Prelude, and just as the word says, it has a very improvisational character. It is before the actual suite, and so it's really before you actually start playing. It's kind of a warm-up. It's a piece to kind of test the room and the audience and see what kind of a rapport you can build with the audience from the very beginning. And so the Prelude is not technically challenging. It doesn't mean that you could treat it in a frivolous manner. Usually that first impression is the impression that matters the most, and if you're likable from the first impression, then people will listen to you more carefully for the rest of the concert. And so treat this with a lot of care. And so let's get started here. The piece begins by playing a simple melodic line on the 2nd string. We're going to begin playing an A note. This A note is found on the 10th fret of the 2nd string, and it's played with the 4th finger. So then we're going to play a G note, played with the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 8th fret, and then return back to A. Instead of fingering everything on the 1st string, which would have been a little bit more accessible from a technical point of view, Segovia as well as Christopher Parkening fingered everything on the 2nd string that has a very different quality. And rather than switching strings in an effort to maintain tonal consistency, everything is fingered on that 2nd string. So rather than. So let's begin. A, G, A, and then we're going to go to an E note, played with the 1st finger on the 2nd string, 5th fret, G note, played with the 4th finger on the 2nd string, 8th fret, F note, played with the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 6th fret, and then a pull off to E, which is played again with the 1st finger, 2nd string, 5th fret. So let's try this beginning phrase. As you do this pull off, make sure that you don't simply raise the finger, but you're actually plucking the string. You're plucking this E note with the 2nd finger here. Okay, let's try it once again. And if you hear, there is a slight glissando, downward glissando. It doesn't go through every single fret, but just a couple of half steps downward to lead us to that E note. So after this pull off from F to E, we're going to play 2 notes together, D and F natural. So the D is played with the 3rd finger on the 3rd string, 7th fret, and the F is played with the second finger on the second string, 6th fret. So D and F together. We're going to plug that with P and M, followed by another F note plucked with the I finger. Then we're going to play a C and E together. The C is played as well as the E note with the first finger. The first finger will form a partial bar over the 5th fret. So C is played on the 3rd string and the E is played over the 2nd string, 5th fret. Followed by an F note played with the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 6th fret. And then we're going to move over to the 3rd position and we're going to play a B natural and D. So B natural played with the 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 4th fret, and D note played with the 1st finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And then we're going to play a B flat and D together. Now the B flat is played again as well as the D note with the usage of a partial bar chord. The first finger will form a partial bar chord pressing 3 out of the 6th string on the 3rd fret. For the right hand, again, we're going to pluck P and M for the double notes, and then play an E note with a 3rd finger, 2nd string, 5th fret, and we're going to pluck that with the I finger. So, we're going to move now to the 2nd position for an A major chord. So A and C sharp together. We're going to plug that with P and M. Then an A note already pressed by the 1st finger in this partial bar chord on the 3rd string. And we're going to play the E note on the 4th string with the 1st finger, but we're going to plug that with the thumb. Then we're going to play a G note. And this G note is played with the 4th finger on the 4th string, 5th fret. So after we play the G note, we're going to play an F and D note. F is played with the 2nd finger on the 4th string, 3rd fret, and the D note is played with the 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And then an E and C sharp together. E played with the 1st finger, 4th string, 2nd fret, and C sharp played with the 2nd finger, 2nd string, 2nd fret. Together, for the right hand, we'll use P and M. So, after plucking E and C sharp together, we're going to play an open D string, 4th string, and then a D note played with the 4th finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And then we're going to move to an A over C sharp chord. These are 3 notes played together. The C sharp is played with the 3rd finger on the 5th string, 4th fret, A note played with the 1st finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret, and E played with the 4th finger, 2nd string, 5th fret. So, and I'm doing an arpeggio for this one. So after playing this A over C sharp chord, I'm going to slide with the 4th finger from this E note all the way to the G note. So, after the G note, I'll be playing an F and E note. The F is played with the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 6th fret, followed by a pull off to an E note. The E note is played with the 1st finger, 2nd string, 5th fret. So, then a D and F together. The D is the open 4th string. The F is played with the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 6th fret. And then I'm going to move to a bar chord, 3rd position. This is a C major chord, and I'm playing a C note on the bass with the 1st finger pressing on the 5th string, 3rd fret, an E note played with the third finger on the second string, 5th fret, and then the G note played on the first string, 3rd fret, already pressed by the bar chord. And I'm going to take this formation and move it all the way to the first position. And the notes here are B flat, D, and G. B flat played with the first finger on the 5th string, 4th fret. The D note is played with the 3rd finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret. And the G note played with the 4th finger on the 1st string, 3rd fret. And I'm going to move from this G to an A note, played with the 4th finger, 1st string, 5th fret, followed by an A major chord strum. And in this chord, we're going to have the 1st finger press 4 out of the 6 strings on the 2nd fret, and the 4th finger will play an A note on the 1st string, 5th fret. And we're going to strum this with a thumb, and I like to use a padded strum, no nail at all, and emphasis on that melodic line, which is the final A. Okay, so that was the first part of this piece. I'll see you back for the second half of the prelude.